finish work at 6 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
I don't know, and a lot of people have been discussing this. I personally, I think if you
about to
start
go
the race
green
at 4:30 in the afternoon
for
Vegas time,
Q3
you get the
of the
full
Las
effect of
Vegas
the
Grand
lights
Prix
as
here
it
for
gets
Formula
dark.
One.
You get warmer temperatures for the fans at trackside as well. And it's
Still
probably a
cleaning
better
up
time for
Franco
TV audiences
Colapinto's
around the
huge
world.
crash
If it's a
towards
nighttime
the
race
end of his
for
qualifying
fans
lap.
watching in the US,
And
I know there's a
Q3
lot of,
was going to
people
start
watching our
in about a
broadcast
minute and a
the US.
half
It doesn't
here.
work for the East Coast. It doesn't really work for the West Coast either.
No, it's curious something. I know it's all about closing the strip down and
Not sure who's all
letting the race
left.
still function to an extent, but it is very, very weird.
But
time.
Mercedes
And
been the
race
fastest
starts
team
at
so far,
10 p.m. local.
followed by McLaren, and then the likes of
Yes.
Verstappen and
I tell you where it works.
Sainz.
Ted has established this. Guam.
Even Gasly's been really
middle of
quick
the afternoon in Guam.
for Alpine. So,
There are people watching us in Guam. I can tell you
but
that as well.
I'm pretty
So 1
sure
minute to go then.
it's both
How,
Mercedes,
Martin,
both
as a
McLarens,
Formula One driver, do you now get yourself back into the zone
maybe
again?
both
Chill out,
Ferraris,
cool and calm,
Gasly,
and you now switch it on
Hulkenberg.
mentally.
I got a bit of adrenaline going, and
Here comes everybody pulling up. Verstappen's going to be first. He's going to be followed by a McLaren in the queue. It looks like, well, both McLarens are actually going to be right behind Max.
A little bit beyond the limit of the grip.
Look at this show in the lake.
But
Wow.
the world-class drivers will somehow
The city that never
find a little
sleeps,
bit extra.
Vegas.
They'll have the confidence. They will challenge the side of the race.
22 seconds till Q3 begins.
10th time this season has got himself into Q3.
Max
Lando
Verstappen
Norris, the man who
will lead
was
us
on
off for
pole last
Q3.
time
He's
out
ready to go.
in Brazil has got himself into Q3.
8
Yuki
seconds.
Tsunoda is up there
5,
in Q3.
4,
the man who
3,
very nearly didn't make it
2,
into America and had
1.
to convince them
Here we go.
that he was a Formula One driver and he was here to mean business. Max Verstappen has got himself into Q3.
Max
He leads the cars
Verstappen
out as the light
leads
goes
us
green.
underway.
Max
This is a
Verstappen
12-minute session,
for a Grand Prix
and
since
we are
Austria.
back underway.
Oscar Piastri, who's had 5 front row starts in his Formula One career for a Grand Prix and never been on a Grand Prix pole, has made it into Q3. Lando Norris right there with him, his teammate Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, the 2 Mercedes drivers into Q3. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz completing that top 10, and they were the fastest 2 in qualifying last year before Sainz took that 10th-place grid penalty.
Tim Schenken from Australia tells me it was
Mercedes.
well for Australia this timing.
This
I can
is
imagine
Lewis.
there were quite a lot of Aussies saying he's coming. It's just fine for us. We're normally the ones up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Lewis goes out a little bit
which is
late.
fair comment.
It's a fair point.
Now we picked up
24 races in the season.
Oscar Piastri.
We admire, applaud, and appreciate your dedication. And if you want to ride on
Sector
board
2.
here in the UK, you can do so. You need your Sky Sports ID, and we've got all 10
heading
on boards and the team radio.
toward the stick. I'm Lando Norris.
Or Sky
He's behind
Q, Sky
Oscar
Sky
Piastri.
Stream, or now. And you need your interactive button on your remote
And now he
control.
heads down the long back straightaway, warming up his tires, shifting from side to side.
Would be the most poles
Now
by
there's
a
Max
McLaren driver in a
Verstappen.
season in the 21st
Heading through the last
century.
couple of corners, where
Lewis
Franco
Hamilton
Colapinto just
17,
crashed.
2008,
Now
2012.
warming his tires up, going side to side, heading to the final corner, and Max Verstappen will begin his warm-up lap down the front stretch into turn 1.
24, Max Verstappen.
Yeah, Max giving it a lot of weaving down the back straight again, a bit more temperature.
10 minutes to
And
go.
this is a warm-up lap. He's not really going for it through there. So he's still preparing his car for the one that matters.
Verstappen's still warming up.
I would imagine he will not be alone in these preparations.
Here comes Oscar Piastri.
Oscar Piastri is seen to be
The second car in line.
in more of a hurry to get on with it. By the looks of it, he's in a bit more of a hurry on this lap.
Yeah, he was wringing his neck through there, wasn't he? So
Piastri is looking really quickly.
around
That's
the
because
spin.
he's on a lap. And he goes purple through the first sector, obviously, because he's the first
and once again,
driver on a lap.
through.
Verstappen lets Piastri by.
So Oscar sticking with it.
Piastri looking really quick,
Quite
looking
fully
really
come to
glued to
the
the track.
He and Charles Leclerc pretty much matching their
Ooh, a
sector
little
times for sector. Lando
sideways
Norris
moment.
and
Piastri
also
had to exit that corner.
26.3. decent middle sector, 31-2.
Now a decent middle sector for Oscar Piastri. It's purple.
The best middle sector that we saw during the second part of qualifying.
Norris going quickly as well.
What is that all about?
Heading to the last couple of corners.
That's a lot of sparks, isn't it, on the McLaren? Probably carrying a bit more fuel.
Piastri, a lot of sparks coming off of that 81 machine for McLaren. Piastri heading to turn 17, the final corner. What's his lap going to be? Around the final corner to the start-finish line, a 1:33.520. Here comes Lando Norris. Verstappen starts his first lap. Norris goes quicker, 1:33.237. Now here come the Ferraris. This is important to the Constructors' title. Leclerc goes third. Half a second behind Norris. Gasly goes faster than Leclerc. Carlos Sainz has been purple in both sectors. Tsunoda goes to fifth, a 1:34.0. Sainz, fastest by 2/10.
32.7, the fastest.
Now we pick up Max Verstappen in the middle sector.
To really hook up the perfect lap with
heading toward turn 10.
And that's a 25.9.
Hulkenberg up to fifth.
First sector. That's quick.
Russell quickest to the first sector, purple.
It would be pole at a 23rd.
Verstappen flying.
Sebastian Vettel at second on the all-time.
He's going quicker than Carlos Sainz in the middle sector. He went purple.
With the record, he could make it 33.
As down the Vegas Strip goes Max Verstappen.
Preparation lap.
Running the middle line. That Red Bull going quickly. Heading into the braking zone for turn 14. Verstappen hits that corner nice. Then a little right-left of 15 and 16. Verstappen gets through there. Heading to turn 17. What's this lap going to be for Max Verstappen? Verstappen through 17 to the start-finish line. Second. 2/10 off of Carlos Sainz's lap. Now watching the quick Mercedes. Through 15 and 16, the right-left. Heading to turn 17. Piastri's going to pit for new tires. Russell to turn 17, and he goes quicker. A 1:32.811. We haven't seen a lap in the 1:32 so far in this qualifying session.
Yeah, they got to be looking.
As McLaren's now Leclerc are in the pits, here comes Lewis Hamilton.
I would have thought so. Plenty to come yet from these
6.5 left to go. Hamilton. He's in last right now. As Tsunoda comes into the pits, same with Carlos Sainz. Got a replay for Lewis Hamilton. To a braking zone, and oh, a big lockup in turn 10 for Lewis Hamilton. He had to go into the runoff.
Big lockup. No harm done, you would imagine, unless he's flat spotted his tyres. But Hamilton back into the pits then,
has pitted.
So they can give it the once
So the only cars that are on track is Russell and
change
Verstappen.
those tyres.
So the top 10 with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go is Russell first, Sainz second, Verstappen third, Norris, Piastri fourth and fifth, Gasly sixth, Hulkenberg seventh, Leclerc eighth, Yuki ninth, and Lewis 10th.
And he's in the garage early, really, isn't he?
Lewis is the only driver so far that has not set a competitive lap time, as Russell is still going.
I want to be in the back. That was too early, I think. Track is going to be rapid.
I was going to say, he might put him on the track a little bit earlier if he comes out, or he might actually have time for another lap on this new set of tyres, which might pay dividends.
5 minutes to go.
Right at the back where his teammate wants to be.
Charles Leclerc is heading out.
I can see what George means. I want to be, and you've got to aim at peak.
All right, Leclerc goes.
Performance.
And so does Sainz. Norris is in. Norris is heading out. Ahead of the Ferraris. Tsunoda's going. Gasly's going.
There's a risk, but all the Ferraris have come out as well. And what happened to Charles Leclerc on that first run? Just didn't manage to get it together, but has gone out on a new set together with Carlos Sainz's Ferrari teammate now. They're not
obviously got to be on new sets of soft tires. These are going to be the fastest tires through every single qualifying session. We're going to replay for Charles Leclerc. Ooh, a little loose in between turns 8 and 9.
Yeah, we can see where Leclerc had to abandon turn 7.
Or sorry, turn
he never
7.
really made the first part of that.
Turn 8.
And put him wide.
Yeah, the oversteer through the corner. He did well to stay within track limits, to be fair. When McLaren's out the track, this is Oscar Piastri making his way left-handed at turn 12.
Oh, it was turn 12 where Lewis had his moment, where he ended up into the runoff area. Well, not turn 10.
A lot of wheel spin on the exit of the corners.
But everyone's heading back onto the track besides Lewis, Russell. Speaking of Russell, we got a replay.
Should help him.
George Russell at turn 5.
Turn 5. Oh, he hit the barrier.
Yeah, I hit the wall exit of 5.
He was sliding his way towards the
It was a little kiss. It wasn't that bad
quite hard
of a
there.
hit for
The
George
man who's
Russell.
currently sat on provisional pole.
He still was on pole after that. So Russell,
Russell
Verstappen, Hulkenberg, Hamilton are still in the pits. Everybody else is on track with 2 minutes and 51 seconds left in Q3.
That's a bit of a concern for George
And
Russell.
now we pick up one of the McLarens. It's Oscar Piastri.
To do an extra preparation lap should he need it.
The time everyone's chasing from George Russell is a 1:32.11. Oscar Piastri is 7/10 behind that time. On board with Charles Leclerc.
Look at that previous poll: Charles Leclerc, Alain Prost, Carlos Reutemann. It's not often you see those 3 drivers in a list
So
together
previous
in
polls
pole position.
here: Leclerc last year, and then back in the 80s when they raced at Caesar's Palace, Alain Prost and Carlos Reutemann. As here comes George Russell, he'll be the last driver onto the track. There are 2 minutes left to go in the session. Times will come in by the dozen. Who gets pole position? Is it Russell? Is it Hamilton? Is it Norris? Is it Piastri? Is it Sainz? Is it Perez? Or is it is it Leclerc? Or is it one of the 3 upset drivers? Gasly, Hulkenberg, or Tsunoda? Time to find out. Here comes Oscar Piastri through 15 and 16, heading toward turn 17. We're going to watch Oscar's lap. Here he comes. Down the front stretch, heading into turn number 1. Piastri looking good through turns 1 and 2. Now heading to turn number 3. This long right-hander. Looking really quick, heading down this long straightaway, heading toward the big braking zone, and right-hander for turn number 4.
Piastri really leading the way of those
For turn 5.
their best lap in of the
Piastri gets through 5 pretty well, heading toward turn 6. And then the quick braking zone through 7 and 8. Gets through those corners nicely. Through 9. On a personal best right now, Norris is slower than Russell as well as Leclerc. In through turn 10. Turn 11. And this big braking zone for turn 12. Oh, you get really close to that barrier right there. Oscar, 2.5 tenths slower than Russell. 20 seconds to go. No one really setting any good lap times. Norris is 3 tenths down on Russell. Looking really good for George Russell. Ooh, Leclerc is 150. Hamilton says he lost the back end. Piastri, 14, 15, 16. Leclerc is Russell's biggest threat right now. Oscar Piastri heading toward turn 17. Here comes Oscar Piastri. Where's he going to go? He'll be 3rd with a 1:33.033. Here comes Lando Norris heading toward turn 17. Norris onto the front row. Leclerc, pole! Charles Leclerc pulls the lap out of his ass. He is 28 1/1000ths of a second ahead of Russell. Here comes Hamilton. Last. Sainz on the front. Sainz on pole. Gasly's on the front row. Gasly's on the front row. Here comes Verstappen. Tsunoda 6th. Norris 5th. Piastri 7th. This is important to the championship. Max 4th. He's ahead of Lando. Russell's on a huge lap. Does Russell steal it from Sainz? Russell to the line. He got it. He got it. He got it by 1/10 of a second. George Russell is on pole for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Unbelievable. Fastest every single session. Pole position for George Russell in Vegas. But give a call to Pierre Gasly. He'll start 3rd for tomorrow night's Grand Prix. How about that for Alpine after the double podium at Brazil?
Fascinating.
Pole position, mate. Photo. That's a new one.
Unreal.
Brilliant job, photo.
Lewis will be seething with himself. He must have run wide because even that was a steady time. That was deleted as well.
Oh, it was
So
deleted.
he hasn't got a representative time. He starts 10th with his teammate on pole position. But Ferrari were there at the end, but Gasly separates the two Ferraris. Extraordinary.
Russell, Sainz, Gasly, Leclerc, Verstappen is the top 5.
Get them into the working window. If you can get your brakes up to temperature, then anything is possible. And that's
George Russell's been the best driver all night.
Better than he managed here in qualifying.
He gets what he deserves, a pole position.
Finished P2 last year in qualifying.
Here's what happened to Lewis Hamilton.
He hasn't got that 10th
This
place
is in
penalty.
turns
And this
3,
Lewis
2,
Hamilton's
3, and 4, and oh, a huge moment for
All
Lewis.
4 wheels off, but got a massive swapper on in the middle of the corner.
What a save by Lewis Hamilton.
And there's no doubt
That
about
could have been a
being all 4
massive
wheels
shot.
off. So that was in turn
If he
4.
lost it.
Yeah, it's cost Lewis Hamilton dearly.
And in terms of the championship
Heading into
battle,
Parc Fermé.
Lando Norris will start behind Max Verstappen. Once again in qualifying, Verstappen gave it his all and produced a lap that was good enough for the top 5. Produced a lap that probably he wasn't expecting in terms of the handling of the car so far this weekend. And crucially for him, was a lap that was faster than Lando Norris, who needs to outscore Max Verstappen to carry on the title fights in tomorrow's race. Verstappen, for the 2nd year running, could take the title on a Saturday night at the racetrack.
So both McLaren stalled out. They did a 33.0 in Q2 and a 33.0 the pair of them in Q3. They just didn't have anything left.
Here comes George Russell
Russell found 4/10
to celebrate
second
his pole
with
position.
A cracking pole position lap there. Good effort.
Hit the wall, left it until last to come out. I'm not saying hitting the wall was part of his strategy to get him out last and be right at the back, but that's where he wanted to be.
Yeah, he was right, wasn't he?
On that final flying lap of the 10 drivers going for pole. Right place, right time, and for George Russell, P1 and pole position is, for the 4th time in his career, is definitely the right place for him. And for Pierre Gasly, that is a super lap for him in the Alpine. Not sure he'd have been 3rd on the grid on most people's bingo cards.
We talked about him being
Not
4th
mine.
in Q2.
Yeah.
He was right up there, wasn't he?
But going into this qualifying session,
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely right, yeah.
it's George Russell. On
We'll
the
hear from
display
George and
panels
we'll call
on
it a
top
night.
of the roof of the pit building here, looking up to the heavens rather than down on everyone else. But when he slots onto the grid tomorrow, he'll be right at the front and everyone else behind him.
So now we need to find out who's got a race car who can keep the medium tyres and half compound tyres from graining, which is a whole different story tomorrow.
Well, as Ted said, Ferrari really fancy their chances for the race. They think they've got a fabulous race pace here, and they line up 2nd and 4th on the grid. Lando Norris needs to do something to beat Max Verstappen and keep the title race alive. Oscar Piastri didn't have the pace either to trouble the front 2 rows. Yuki Tsunoda lines up 7th in his RB. Nico Hulkenberg at 9th for Haas in his 10th Q3 appearance of the season.
Pretty
I
solid.
think Red Bull and Verstappen will be
Especially
too
for
unhappy
Haas.
with the fifth. Actually, they've been struggling around here.
They normally don't get 10 Q3 appearances. Give a call to Nico Hulkenberg.
Of course, all that. We were expected to be quick in Qatar, but this weekend, no. Makes no sense, says George Russell, which kind of echoes the comments that I was being told at Mercedes that, he said, why are you so quick this weekend? We don't know. We just don't know. But that's the thing about this car, Martin. It's a temperamental beast, isn't it? You get it in the right working window, it's a race-winning car. George said this at the press conference.
Yeah, it's worrying. They don't know why it's quick. They don't know why it's slow sometimes, but tonight it doesn't matter for George Russell and Mercedes-Benz. And you have to say, Mercedes on the front row on pole has been what is that? Smoking away down there. Has been looked like dead cert, didn't it? In fact, both of them perhaps we expected up there.
Now in the Constructors' Championship for Ferrari, this has been a very fine qualifying, second and fourth, with McLaren 6th and 8th on the grid. 49 points separates McLaren and Red Bull. 36 points separate McLaren and Ferrari.
Hinch.
It's been a good qualifying night for them tonight.
Hinch is doing post-qualifying interviews. Here we go, here's George.
Russell, your pole sitter for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, 4th of your career, 3rd of the season. Tell me, coming into this weekend, did you and the Mercedes team think you guys were going to have that kind of pace?
Honestly, absolutely not. It feels incredible to be back on pole. We've been so quick all weekend, and I just knew coming into that last Q3 lap, that's going to be the one that counts. It doesn't matter what's happened before then. And I had a bit of a moment on my first run where they changed the front wing. So there's a moment I thought we weren't going to make the flag, but just so happy. And we got to do some deep diving to understand why it's been so quick so far this weekend, because it was a real surprise.
Yeah, all the track and then some on that first run, but you got it done on the second. You've got this reputation now for kind of making some calls from inside the cockpit. You said over the radio you wanted to be the last car on the racetrack. Big risk at a street circuit with the track improving, yellow flags possible, red flags possible, but how confident were you were going to have what it took?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately you got to put on the table sometimes, and I felt confident in myself. I knew if I did a clean lap, it'll be enough to secure, a front row. So to get pole position, it's incredible, but ultimately, we've had a few good qualifyings recently. We need to convert that into a win now.
Okay, just quick. Back in Las Vegas, what's it like being back here racing down the famous strip?
Yeah, it's great always being in Las Vegas. It's late night, good atmosphere here, and excited for the race now.
All right, congratulations. Pole position, George Russell.
Here comes Sainz.
Alongside him, Carlos Sainz, congratulations. Big cheer from the crowd here in Vegas. You were second in qualifying last year. You had to take that penalty, but you guys got it done today. A lot of talk about tire temps. It is so cold here. How difficult was it to get those tires into the right operating window for that fast lap?
Yeah, very tricky. Well, thanks for the cheers. That was a tough, tight quali. A bit closer to pole than what I was expecting. Actually, I thought I had pole, and then George came very, very quick there at the end. But yeah, very happy. I think we're starting in a good position for tomorrow. P2 last year, but was P12 on the grid because of the famous drain cover. This year I start P2, so hopefully we can make a better one.
Look, at practice, qualifying pace, one lap pace was very close. Race pace, you guys looked very, very strong. How much confidence does that give you that you can convert this into another win on the season?
Yeah, that's why we need to stay confident that tomorrow we could be fighting at the front even more than today. So if today we were close in quali, tomorrow we might have a chance at going for the win. And that will be the target. Obviously, passing and strategy will be a different thing tomorrow. I feel like today, Mercedes were very good at switching those tires on. If you see sector 1, they were flying, they were 3 tenths up on us, and then we were coming back as the lap was going on. But tomorrow it's a clean sheet, new start, and see how the car's behaving in high fuel.
And finally, just from the Constructors' Championship standpoint, big opportunity for Ferrari tomorrow. How much is your mindset going into the race? Carlos wants a win versus Ferrari needs as many points as they can to catch McLaren.
I honestly think we need wins also to beat McLaren. It's not like we can afford to just be in front of them because they have a big gap in the championship. And then we're going to Qatar, that it's not going to be a good track for us and we're going to be struggling there. So yeah, I think we need to win, so it's not like it changes much my approach.
Perfect. All right, congratulations. Front row start for Carlos Sainz.
Here comes Gasly.
And Pierre Gasly will line up third on the grid tomorrow. Incredible run. This team's really been on a great run of performance since Austin. You backed it up with an incredible podium position last time out in Brazil. Just talk to me about the emotion of getting a qualifying like this in.
Yeah, it's the first time ever. So no, it's unbelievable. Honestly, we didn't think we'll be able to achieve a top 3 in the quali. So no, it was an incredible lap, especially around this track. You're flirting with the walls everywhere through the lap, and a lot of adrenaline, a lot of excitement. I knew crossing the line it was a good lap, but when they came up on the radio telling me we're lining up third tomorrow, it's just amazing. So really happy.
I mean, times are so tight here. So let's just talk a little bit about how tricky it is specifically here. Cold temperatures, dirty racetrack, low downforce configurations, and walls everywhere. In qualifying for the ultimate lap, how tricky is it here?
Yeah, I mean, I was getting cold in the cab. We had to wait so long before that Q3. I just wanted to get going, and yeah, we had a good first run. That last lap was the one that mattered, with a new tire, and yeah, really managed to nail it. So the car felt great. I must say it's an incredible period for the team following the double podium in Brazil. So hopefully we can stay up there tomorrow.
Third last time out in Brazil, starting third tomorrow. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. George Russell is the pole setter for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We'll see you tomorrow for the race. RBL, peace. Have a good night. I need to go to bed.